Before the video starts, I want to remind you to subscribe to my channel and leave a like. I know it doesn't change anything for you, but for me, it's a symbol of pride and gives me the motivation to continue making videos and working for you. Enjoy the show! Over the years, numerous authors have published comics in an attempt to forever change the history of Japanese publishing. Despite the presence of great talents, few manga have managed to replicate the influence of Death Note, a total cult of our generation. In this video, we will talk about Ligh Yagami, an illustrious character from the work who ventured beyond imagination to create, as he claimed, a perfect world free from evil. Ligh's characterization is that of the classic model student, intelligent and very good with women. His intelligence is such that he is considered the top student in Japan and is envied by many. However, this is only part of the reality, as Light, beneath the facade of the model student, hides great boredom and disinterest in the entire world. The arrival of the Death Note on Earth, due to Ryuk, ignites a spark in Light. To counteract the now unshakable boredom, he sets himself a goal, to free the world from evil by killing all those he deems to be evil themselves. After a bit of hesitation, given the situation, he confirms his suspicions by testing the notebook and meeting Ryuk, the god of death. Once he has set this objective, he begins to eliminate an indecipherable number of criminals, considering them scum. Given the situation, the Japanese police and government make their move, as they witness an incredible number of deaths, all of criminals. They realize that the situation is unnatural and that someone is pulling the strings. Their response is to call in the world's best detective, L. By provoking the presumed killer with a transmission broadcast solely in the Kanto region, he discovers that the suspect is located in the same neighborhood and concludes the broadcast by promising the capture of the killer. Light, despite the situation, takes the challenge posed by the detective very well and accepts it in turn. This marks the beginning of a battle that has changed the history of anime and manga. On the internet, in many forums, people nicknamed Light Kira, as a play on the word killer. During their first encounter, Ryuk offered to give Light his own eyes, which could reveal the names of anyone simply by looking at them. Light, seeing the side effects, refused the offer. The situation deeply unsettled the police, who, given the terrifying circumstances, lost most of their personnel to the fear of dying. The few who remained, upon his decision, had the opportunity to work firsthand with L. The detective immediately showed genuine interest in Ligh Yagami, suspecting him until the very end, ultimately getting confirmation. However, before reaching this point, it is necessary to take a step back to explain the evolution of their relationship. What made L suspicious of Light was that he had access to all the police data, being the son of the chief of the armed forces. Additionally, Light's intelligence is widely known, and this fact had a significant influence on L's decisions. After various moves by L, such as installing cameras in Light's home and spying on him at university, he convinced him to work together while keeping him under surveillance. Light's intelligence peaked when, utilizing the rules of the Death Note and the presence of a second Kira who was madly in love with him, he deliberately erased his own memories regarding the notebook and, taking advantage of the situation, convinced L to release him with fewer suspicions. The notebook, after having passed through the hands of Yotsuba, returned to the boy who, by making some adjustments, regained his memories and executed his plan flawlessly. In the end, Light, leveraging the ideals of the god of death associated with the second Kira, manages to kill L and win the battle. However, in this context, the word battle is not synonymous with war. Indeed, the next challenges for Light come from two emerging detectives, Nier and Mello. Their mission was to uncover Kira, and in their own way, both contributed to the success of the plan. Light, using his ex-girlfriend and a supporter of his, managed to handle the situation perfectly while continuing to eliminate the people he wanted. In this case as well, Nier, like in the previous situation, sees in Light a potential Kira and, by organizing a very risky plan, manages to unmask the boy. During a prior incident that saw Light's ex-girlfriend lose her life, Light's admirer wrote the name of the girl in his own notebook, thinking that Light would not be free to act. Subsequently, Nier, having doubts about this individual as well, sent one of his employees to tail the boy in question. Upon observing his unusual behavior that contradicted his character, Nier's employee found the notebook, obtaining the weapon of the crime. Returning to the present, Nier, during the confrontation with Light, explained his plan, anticipating that Light's servant would come to help his master. However, Nier, sensing Light's plan, executed a countermove by swapping the boy's notebook, exposing Light as the only one whose name was not written down. Before being killed by Ryuk, Ligh had a verbal confrontation with Nier, where the detective told the boy that he is a psychopathic serial killer and that his plan is ridiculous and unintelligent. These words represent the essence of Light, a boy who found himself wielding immense power that changed him, leading him to believe he was superior to others and seeing himself as a god. Possessing that power, he thought he was better than everyone else, focusing on a ridiculous plan instead of using that power for his own personal goals, ultimately leading him to succumb as a villain and a monster.